Hey guys, thank you for tuning in one more time. It's Vlad from Printing on Main Street, and I am releasing a brand new series of videos titled How to Start a Print Shop. In this video, we're going to kind of just talk from the couch here about, why I started my print shop and how I started. And then in future videos, we'll get into the equipment, the marketing aspects, the costs of overall starting, and other really important topics to start a print shop. So basically, it's been about a year to date that I opened up my first brick and mortar location. Let's start with the why. And yes, guys, I have my little cheat sheet notes. So if I'm looking down, I just wanted to make sure that I covered everything in this video and didn't leave anything out. So I made some notes to myself. Let's start with the why. So for most of you that don't know me, I'll give you a little bit of the backstory. I've been in the entertainment industry for about 20 years now. At around age 15, I started to learn how to DJ and worked as a DJ full-time for almost 20 years. I was an event planner during the same period of time, planning and hosting corporate and social events, both locally in the tri-state area and nationwide. We really did a lot of printing for our clients as a service. People needed to get giveaways for their events, and they would always ask, hey, do you know where I can get t-shirts printed, or some promotional items printed, or this or that. And we always did it for them, more of a service, kind of a one-stop shop service for our clients. So I knew a little bit about printing. We always outsourced all of our printing work to local businesses in our area. And yeah, so that's basically the backstory there. But who wants to hear about me? Let's get into why you're actually watching this video, because hopefully you want to start a printing business. And my goal was to open up a full-service print shop. Even though our specialty right now is apparel, large format, and promotional items, the long-term goal is to be able to service our clients with any of their printing needs, from paper goods to packaging. So before I started my print shop, I worked for the same firm for about 4 years. And I knew that I wanted to change. I knew that I wanted some sort of change in my life. I was tired of working nights and weekends. And, when people are off, that's when we work, when we're doing events. I have twins and a newborn at home. So I really wanted to be able to spend more time with my kids and actually be able to see them grow up. So I was looking for another business. I thought about opening up a flower shop. And I figured, I can be closer to home that way and won't have to travel as much. But then I realized that, yeah, flower shops also work on the weekends and on holidays. And you would have to go set up flowers at events and things like that. So that kind of, I guess, didn't make much sense. And then one of my clients called me and he asked me if I can help him get some t-shirts printed for an event that he was having. And I said, sure. And the light bulb kind of just went off in my head. And I said, hey, this is perfect. So I outsourced it the same way I always did, gave him his order. He was super happy. I met with the printer that I was using. I started asking questions. He wasn't very helpful or didn't really want to share too much information with me. But just looking at his operation, I realized that there's probably not much that I can't figure out on my own. So I did what I've done a lot of times in the past when I wanted to learn about new things. I headed over to YouTube University. I started researching everything I could find on YouTube about printing, and I just started learning. Basically, I spent about a month watching 8 to 10 hours a day of YouTube videos from guys like Reyes the Entrepreneur. By the way, if you guys haven't checked out any of his videos, he's super awesome. I will link down below to his channel so you guys can check that out. And I basically just learned everything that I could. I knew that it probably made sense to start at home, but with our current living situation, I didn't have the room at home. So I had to find a plan B. It happened to be that I came across a very small storefront in my town. It's roughly about 250 square feet. That was super affordable, and I signed the lease, and it's been all peaches and cream. Not. I know that wasn't funny. I knew one thing. Let's just get this straight. I knew one thing, that I just needed to start. And if I started, things would just happen. So I took the store, I built it out. I went over to a company called Heat Press Nation. I bought a inexpensive vinyl cutter. I bought a fairly decent heat press that was like an 8-in-1 press. So I figured I would be able to do multiple items. And I bought a bunch of vinyl. And I went out and bought a ton of different t-shirts in different colors and different styles. And that was kind of the biggest downfall. And the biggest waste of money in the beginning. But you learn from your experience. And, I still have some of those t-shirts today because some of them were ridiculous. Like, I don't know, a yellow sleeveless tee. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. But hopefully you guys can learn from my mistakes and not make the same mistakes. But obviously, when you're starting a new business, you're always going to make mistakes. And you just got to keep your head up and keep it moving. Keep on going. And things will work out. It's been a super fun year. I can tell you guys this much. I have some great people on my team. And honestly, I could not do this without them. So back to when I started. I figured I would start to tell everybody that I knew that I now do printing. So I kind of went through my phone, started scrolling through my contact list, and just kind of calling and texting everybody and saying, hey, what's up? Long time no speak. By the way, I just started a printing business. So if you need something, or if you know anybody that needs anything printed, please reach out to me. At the same time, I was making some sample shirts and practicing and trying to perfect it. Messing around with the different settings of the vinyl cutter and the different temperatures in the heat press and different items. And kind of got a few small orders here and there. I did those orders. I used those orders to post pictures on social media. I reached out to more and more people that I knew. And eventually orders started, slowly coming in from one order to the next, from one order to the next, from one to the next. And we got to a point where I couldn't do this on my own because, as a business owner, you wear a lot of different hats. So I had to, sell the job. I had to order the stuff that I needed for the job. I had to produce the job. I had to get the job out the door, either ship it or deliver it, and get paid for it. I figured I need to hire somebody at that point who can help me with the production part. So it would leave me time to go out there and be able to sell more. So I hired somebody. She took over the production at that time. We started to get some bigger orders, and doing them with heat transfer vinyl is rough. If you ever had to do a 50-piece order with the front and back print, In vinyl, you would never want to do it again. I could tell you that much. And for those of you that have done this, know exactly what I'm talking about. It was rough. I went back to research and basically found a bunch of companies that offered something called Plastisol heat transfers, where they would screen print onto a special transfer sheet. Then you can use your heat press to transfer these sheets onto a garment. To me, it's always been the goal to get into screen printing. So for me, it was like, wow, this is perfect. I can offer my clients screen printing without actually having any screen printing equipment. So that was great. So we started using transfers. We started marketing. I started going out there and finding new business, doing a little bit of advertising on social media in our local area, going to visit new businesses, really pounding the pavement. Like I would go every single day. You know, I would work till 11, 11:30, 12 o'clock. I would go grab something to eat. And then after lunch, I would spend the next hour, 2 hours just driving in my town or in local towns, going from business to business, introducing myself. And, you know, people started saying, hey, I need this done. Oh, by the way, I ran out of business cards. Can you get me business cards? Can you print some shirts for us? So it really helped us grow in our local area. So that's a great way to start. And it's actually just pound the pavement, go out there and talk to people. So we got to a point where we got super, super busy and we were really, really running out of room. The person who I hired to do production, she ended up bringing in some sales on her own through her contacts, as well as the sales that I was doing through my contacts and our local area, people that started to know that we're now in business. Things got super busy for us. So we hired somebody else to come in and handle the production. She took over the sales department as a whole. And that freed me up to expand our business. At that point, we kind of ran into a little problem. We had no more space. We were kind of choking, and orders were coming in. I think that I got, like 1,000 tote bag order. And when the boxes showed up, I think it was like 20, 30, 40 boxes. I think it was around 30 boxes. And literally, we had floor to ceiling boxes. You couldn't even walk. You couldn't even move around the store. And I kind of realized that we need more space. So I started to look around, and it was hard. It was really hard. Everything was either too big, and that's why it was too expensive, or small and just really expensive. And I knew that I wanted to stay in my town because I had just spent the last, 7-8 months, growing my business. So I figured if I had to move, it would be like starting from scratch. A month down the line, I couldn't find anything. I started to expand out of my town. I ended up finding the location that we're in today. It's roughly about 1,500 square feet. I bought screen printing equipment. We bought some large format equipment. And this was in February that we signed the lease of 2020. I know that you guys all know what happened in March of 2020 when we finished construction, finally got everything in, and we were planning to, move our production completely to the new facility. COVID-19, the coronavirus, really started to take hold, get people sick. People were dying, and we shut down out of for the safety of my staff and their families and my family. We had probably 20, 30 orders in the pipeline going into the beginning of March. Some were due towards the end of the month. Some were due in the middle of the month. Around March 14th, 13th, 15th, somewhere in that window, I got messages and calls from 100% of everybody in our pipeline that they wanted to cancel their orders or put their orders on hold. So we went from having orders to having no orders within a day, which was super scary. I had just gotten this new facility. I had just dumped a lot of money into equipment and into, the rent and security deposits and the construction and getting, some other stuff that we needed for the new facility. And for the screen printing, you need a whole bunch of things. And yes, there's ways to start without some of them. And maybe we could talk about that in a later video. But I had to build out a dark room. I had to run plumbing for the, washout booth. In the building that we're in, the only place that I could have put the washout booth, it ended up costing me like $2,000 to just do the plumbing. The electrical for the conveyor dryer. There was just so many things that I had to do and so much money that I spent doing it where I didn't know what the future held. So between the middle of March and the middle of April, I barely got any sleep. If I had hair on my head, I would have probably pulled it out because it was dead. There was just no inquiries, no placing orders. There was nothing. One of the nearby towns that asked if we could print some signage for them. To my response, I told the lady I would love to, but we're not open because, we're not allowed to open. And she said, go check out this article. Print shops are deemed essential if they are helping with, personal protective items and things of that nature. So I said, perfect. As long as we're good, as long as we're not doing anything illegal, let's work on the artwork and let's get you these files. And we kind of just started putting it out there that we're open. And things started to come in. People were stuck at home during Mother's Day, not really able to buy gifts or anything like that. So people started to reach out and say, hey, can you make, a t-shirt for my mom? Can you make a mug? Can you do this for us? Can you do that for us? Lawn signs. So we started getting super busy doing orders. We came up with a system where I hired a driver so we can do contactless delivery to people's homes to make sure that everybody was safe. And we kind of just adapted. We jumped into making masks because people were asking. I never printed a mask before. I had no idea. But we figured it out. At the end of the day, it was really, for us, it was about doing what we had to do to just get through this tough period. And now we're still kind of, things are still not back to normal. Our store is not open to the public. If clients would like to come and see us in person, we do it by appointment only. So that way we can only make sure that we have one client in the store at one time. Separated our production a little bit to make sure that our employees stay safe. And we're just kind of adapting. We don't know what the future holds for us, but we're doing everything we can every single day to try to make it work to the best of our abilities. And that brings me back to the point of how, I started. I knew that I needed to start. And when Corona hit, I knew that I needed to figure it out. Your biggest challenge to moving forward in your dreams, and that might be to start a business, to go back to school, to do anything, is really just doing it. Take the leap. You are your biggest, how do you say this? you hold yourself back the most. If there's a will, there's a way. And I truly believe that. So if you guys are really interested in starting a print business, whether it be from home in the beginning or a retail shop like I started, I'm going to have future videos where I'm going to discuss everything from the equipment that you need, from the investment, from how to find clients, how to market your business, how to build a website. Overall, the full picture of what it would take you to start a printing business. So I really, guys, hope that you enjoyed this. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification right next to that subscribe button so you can be notified when I release a new video. Thank you guys so much. I look forward to putting out more content for all of us. Thank you so much. See you guys soon.